Okay, everybody, let's take it from the top.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Hi, hello everybody, and welcome back to D Plus Us, the show about all things Disney. I'm one of your hosts, Griffin Tadell, Griffey D-Pad, and with me as always is the wonderful, the amazing Mr. Mitch George. How are you doing?
Worried.
What is it? The
I have no
one screen?
y'all are here. You have seen the title of this video and or podcast. I don't know if it's only going up on YouTube, youtube.com/@D+us or everywhere, but I have no idea what's about to happen. So I'm very concerned.
For what it's worth, folks, yeah, thank you for tuning into this one. This is going to be a super special episode of the podcast. Mitch has no idea what's happening. I am sharing my screen to Mitch at this moment, and all he can see is just a white image, nothing, no context at all whatsoever.
I'm assuming I'm dead at this point. Like this is my hell.
Possibly. Before I reveal what is happening, of course, folks, thank you for listening, tuning in to the show. It is rare once in a while that we have to step outside the confines of what this show is. And this is one of those situations. Mitch, I got to do something very special over the weekend. Something I've told you about previously, but I haven't told you about it in a while. So I went to Epic Universe this weekend. And I gotta talk about this thing, man.
We're a Disney podcast.
We are a Disney podcast, which is why I'm saying we are stepping outside of the bounds of our show a little bit. A little bit.
We've only done this once and it was for Spider-Man.
It is worth it for Epic Universe, I will tell you what.
See, okay, you say that. Everything in me wants to go here until you look at the current geopolitical situation between the United States and Canada. So I'm sitting here very jealous right now, but I have to hear everything. Go.
I made a PowerPoint. That's how incredible.
Of course you did.
Yes, I went to Epic Universe for pass holder previews over the weekend, and I got to tell y'all all about it because truly Epic Universe is one of a kind and is going to be setting things up for the future of theme parks. Frankly, I can't see this not affecting the Disney side of things as well. Theme park news in general is one of those moments where we kind of can step outside of Disney a little bit and talk about Universal because they're so intrinsically tied, right? Like, we wouldn't have Galaxy's Edge without Harry Potter and Universal Islands of Adventure. So all of this stuff really comes together.
We wouldn't have Super Nintendo Land without the advances that we made in Star Wars. So they play off each other. They go back and forth a lot, right?
Absolutely. So I want to talk about this. Mitch, I'm sure you have questions about this place. We will get into all of that. But before we do, a rigmarole for y'all. Hey, everybody. Thank you for listening.
But it kept the surprise until after your rigmarole. God damn
It's
it.
part of the intro. Also, the people who are watching the video already know. So
That's true, yeah. It's just me.
Rigmarole, thank you for listening. Of course, normally we talk about Disney movies, shows, theme park stuff, each and every episode.
What's a theme show?
I got there eventually, okay? Theme park stuff. You can check out all of our episodes here and over on YouTube, youtube.com/@D+us. If you are listening to the audio version of this, head on over to the YouTube version. I got a bunch of pictures and videos from this trip for you to show.
I was going to say, you might want to just click over to YouTube for this one. This one feels like it's going to be very audio visual.
Yeah, there's a lot of visuals here, and there's something that was genuinely life-changing for me in this podcast. That's the intro. That's really the intro thing. Of course, we also do the weekly show at the moment. Currently, we are going through Andor Season 2, episode by episode, kind of. They're dropping in 3-episode chunks.
Yeah, I was going to say, sort of.
Let's just say it like it is. Traumatizing event after traumatizing event within the revolution of Star Wars. But go check that out. Check out our previous ones we've done. We did it for Daredevil Born Again. We will be doing it for Ironheart. Check out our Thunderbolts review, available now. Like, a bunch of stuff happening right now on the podcast. It's absolutely worth checking out. So, that out of the way, Mitch. Epic. So much awesome stuff to talk about with Epic. There are 5 main lands here, and I kind of split up the PowerPoint here into the 5 of them. So we have Celestial Park, Dark Universe, How to Train Your Dragons, Island of Berk, Harry Potter, the Ministry of Magic, and Super Nintendo World. Let's start with Harry Potter. Didn't give a shit. Didn't go, fuck J.K. Rowling.
I was gonna say we have to start with that. Like, even if you went in and did everything, you do you. I'm not like there's no judgment here on that. I think I'll do the same whenever I get to Universal, but we want to preface any of this with
Fuck J.K. Rowling.
terrible person.
And actually,
awful,
what's
awful
interesting, I got to
views.
chat with some folks who are like working in the parks and work within that land, and they're like, no, we really do try to do our best to separate ourselves from her. Like, there is just an unfortunate, realistic aspect of it. Of yes, she does make money off of this shit, and they are a large selling point for the parks. But as always, fuck J.K.
All
Rowling.
3 parks in Orlando now have their own Harry Potter themed areas, so it's.
And I will say, like, as far as things go, this
really hard to
is the
avoid.
most disappointing because there's just not much to do. The one ride that they do have there is the only ride in Epic under a virtual queue that is impossible to get into. We had 3.
Now, is that
potential
mostly
stays.
just because it's a slow loading ride, or
I don't know
is it
why they're doing
demand?
it virtual queue. To be honest, the line itself can fit up to like 7 hours worth of people. I think it might be because we're still in previews, technically, so they're still wanting to play
Yeah.
it a little bit. But genuinely, like, there were 3 different chances throughout the day to get virtual queues, and I was with a friend of mine. Both of us tried on every single time, and we just could not get it. But we have that. They have that, and they have a show there. That show, we just didn't have the time to fit it in. That's why the part of the headline of this is I did almost everything.
So other than those 2 experiences in Harry Potter, you pretty much did everything else, or was there anything else you
Did
missed out
pretty
on?
much everything else. There were 2 rides that we'll get to throughout the show that I was not able to ride because of size restrictions. And then there was one ride at How to Train Your Dragon that we didn't do. It's called Fire Drill. And we did not do it because we did not want to get wet.
That is reasonable, although it is Florida, and even though it is May, it probably still felt like the backside of the ass of the sun. So
Very much so. Plus, the morning started with like 2 hours of just torrential downpour. So we were already soaked from that, and we just did not want to get soaked again halfway through the day. But let's jump into
fair.
it. Let's start with Celestial Park. Celestial Park is kind of this big central area that connects everything. It is gorgeous. And I took no pictures of it.
Oh,
I was so focused on, like, we got to get to our things, we got to do the things, and it was so overwhelmingly beautiful. But also, this is the
I look
easiest
forward
stuff
to you
find.
being able to go back and just enjoy the ambiance in the park, because like I've seen some of like the little interstitials from the park of like they have like caricaturists and like someone will write like poems and stuff, like
So,
all these
yeah,
little small experiences that I think are really nice to just kind of consume, like this.
This was one of the fun things, is that they do have violinists out just playing. Like, this guy was playing Viva La Vida. Which is
It had to be Coldplay.
It's muted for copyright purposes. But genuinely, like, it is the ambiance of it. Of Celestial Park genuinely feels like a park. This big fountain in the middle, we got to watch the show with it. It is beautiful. It is really well done art. Done with the music and whatnot. But there's something really special about it. There was a moment for me that was just like perfectly Griffin nerdy, where I'm watching the fountain, and the music is the music from Mario Galaxy.
Oh, so you nerded the hell out.
Oh, I nerded the hell out on music so much in the Nintendo area and in Burke. There's a couple rides to talk about in Celestial Park. There is the carousel, which is a carousel. It's exactly what you expect. The big one, though, is nope, wrong way.
I was gonna say you're cutting ahead a little bit.
Stardust Racers. We're starting.
Yeah,
with
this is the
probably
dueling coaster, right?
Yeah, this is the dueling coaster. What a freaking ride, man!
I love the idea of dueling coasters.
Has one of the coolest launches I've experienced in a roller coaster, where it launches you, and then about halfway through the launch, it speeds you up and launches you again.
Mm-hmm.
And it is so great, so fun. The whole vibe. It is, for all intents and purposes, just a really intense, fun roller coaster. There's not really a ton of special theming to it, but it is beautiful. It really does kind of fit this whole Celestial vibe they've got going for Celestial Park, which fits the name and whatnot, and is absolutely worth it. This was a ride that I barely fit on, and it's worth mentioning for bigger folks. There are going to be some rides here that are either you can't do or you struggle to do. I think it's worth pointing those out. But still, it's a super fun ride. It's pretty long, too. Like, for a roller coaster, it feels like. We got to do both sides. Both sides
That's
are
nice, yeah.
Both sides are unique, too. One is certainly more intense than the other, in my opinion. It is worth it so much. God damn, it was fun.
That's one I really look forward to getting to experience, because like my experience, so Mack Rides is the manufacturer there. My experience with them, and honestly, I can't wait until now that you're on the East Coast. Your first trip to Canada, when we go to Canada's Wonderland, is going to be flippin' fantastic, because my so Mack Rides, the manufacturer of Stardust Racers, has 2 attractions at Canada's Wonderland. One was opened in hold on, I have it in front of me. 1981, one of the oldest attractions in the park. 'Cause I think the park actually opened in the 80s. Yeah, so this was an opening day attraction, which is kind of crazy to think back about. Another one that opened when I was a kid, so that one opened in 99. So they have both a powered coaster, which is kind of the precursor to the launch coaster, and it's called Thunder Run. And there's there's a fake mountain in the middle of the park, which is kind of nice. Like you have your central, your guiding light, your guiding point, your reference point, and this coaster is a train that goes through the mountain.
Oh, that's
so perfect. It's kind of neat. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like that ride.
I'll come up and we gotta do it.
Oh, for sure. And then we also have essentially what is, it's the same track as Goofy Sky School. So it's the exact same ride. It's just not themed as Disney in California Adventure. It's literally the exact same ride. It'll be fun for you to see that and just be like, oh yeah, no, these are the exact same thing.
Oh yeah.
Called the Fly.
Yeah, this ride is really technically impressive. It's super fun theming. A lot of people have been.
Neither of the rides I just mentioned are. Just FYI.
Yeah, this one is this is the least themed ride in the park, for what it's worth. Like
but
Celestial,
it's the ride that is most like it embraces what Epic Universe is meant to be, right? Like it is.
Oh, absolutely! It is
the idea of bringing these worlds together, and this is that headline attraction that is not themed to these other lands, but it is like this is our marquee.
Very much so. And I want to shout out as well, like kind of the design stylings to it, and this design styling echoes out into the entirety of Celestial Park, where everything uses this green, steel, and brass, and these star motifs within that brass, or star lights around everything. Genuinely, it is so gorgeous. Walking around it, even when it was pouring rain in the morning, or even when it was most beautiful, frankly, when it was dark as we were leaving the parks. Like, genuinely, it doesn't feel like anything else I've ever seen in a theme park. It feels it feels industrial, but like almost in a solar punky fashion, where it's industrial but hopeful.
Okay.
Which is not something I'm used to seeing. We were trying to come up with a term for it, my friend and I that were there, as we were going throughout the day, and we just couldn't, because it was so unique to us for the purposes of a theme park. And it is something I cannot overstate of how cool it is. Like, I can absolutely see myself in the future just going and hanging out in Celestial Park. Like, not necessarily doing rides, going on things, just hanging out in this central area, going to the restaurants.
Grabbing a snack, watching the show, watching the fountain do its thing.
There's this
people watching.
There's this great, tiered grass area. Genuinely, like those giant, a lot of modern buildings have this, where they'll have, giant steps that essentially are, bleacher seats.
Yeah.
It was that, but grass. And
then,
it
that's
was set
nice.
up to watch the fountain. Like, it was so beautiful and so cool.
That's gonna be really nice. Like middle of summer, at least you have a lot of this greenery to take away some of that heat.
I will say,
Assuming they can keep it well maintained.
No shade at
Yeah,
all.
that's bad. That's bad. They're making the same mistake that Toy Story Land did in Hollywood Studios.
But also,
like,
if you go to
y'all
any
need
of
shade down there.
You go to literally any park in Florida, with the exception of Animal Kingdom, no shade. So they're hitting 100 when everyone's failing, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyways, let's switch gears to the next land. Probably, I got to imagine, Mitch, one of the lands you're most excited for.
The only reason why I would go to Florida right now, other than you, and no, that's basically it.
I appreciate being on the list.
It's like it's Mario, Donkey Kong, and then like Griffin. That's
so
about it.
Super Nintendo World is absolutely gorgeous. I have no pictures of the general world itself. Most of my pictures are from the queues of the few rides that are there. The reason for that, A, I only have so much time in this park. And B, oh my god, it was overwhelming stepping in there.
Yeah.
In the greatest way. You step in through a pipe into Princess Peach's castle. And you step into the castle, and immediately there is Bob-omb Battlefield's painting from Mario 64.
I love that.
Or you go into the bathrooms, and it is the water level paintings. Like, they genuinely it is so gorgeous in there. It is perfectly themed to Nintendo.
Something I need to know then. Was this your favorite bathroom in the park?
This was the only bathroom I went to in the park, so yes.
Okay.
Mitch,
now,
I need you to understand that in this day, I went to the bathroom once.
That sounds unhealthy, and you should probably see a doctor about that.
And I ate once.
I mean, are the food and drink options just not great?
No, the food and drink options are excellent.
They're just expensive.
They're just expensive, and I'm trying to save money. I didn't spend a cent on merchandise while I was there.
That's impressive. But once the park is open to the public with your pass, I'm sure there are certain blackout dates, but will you get your pass holder discount at least on merch and food?
We already got our pass holder discount on stuff.
The fact you were able to hold back is impressive.
Yeah, it was mostly I needed to afford groceries this week.
That's pretty important. So like, I get that.
I almost bought like Hiccup's shield from How to Train Your Dragon. There was a bunch of Mario merch. They have like a trophy for the Mario Kart ride, and I was so close to buying it. The only thing I did.
You gotta wait until you've earned it, and you earn it by beating me at Mario Kart World when that drops in about a month.
Oh, I got just the slide for you. Don't worry, we'll get there.
God damn it.
Anyways, let's jump into it. This is part of the Mario Kart queue. It's so cool seeing the trophies in real life.
10 out of 10, no notes. I need your president to stop being such a bitch.
Yeah. So this Universal trophy is the trophy for the ride. This is also the trophy that you can buy in the gift shop.
Do they sell the other trophies?
I didn't see.
Because if I could get the green shell or the fire flower or even the star.
For me, it's the star. Or the mush.
I just think the green shell and the fire flower is so iconic. The mushroom, I suppose, as well, but I feel like it's a little cliche.
I just have always loved the star Grand Prix. And like every Mario Kart, star has always been my favorite. Partially because it's always the one that has Rainbow Road.
Oh man, so I've been going back. This is going to be a complete non sequitur and probably doesn't have to be on the podcast, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, go for it. That's what this podcast
doing
is.
A Mario Kart tournament at work next week. I don't participate in a lot of work related activities when it comes to like the social aspect of it, but once a year they'll run a Mario Kart tournament, and we're separated into like houses, teams, whatever you want to call it, akin to like the world that we don't like naming, and I don't show up for much. And when the Mario Kart Invitational goes out, I'm like, all right, time to dust off the Switch, run through all those Grand Prix, and just
Mitch never
get ready to wreck.
You just hear like the lightning strike, and you're just there.
Wahoo! Yeah, no. So I'm looking for. I busted out 8 Deluxe because I'd never run through a lot of the DLC Grand Prix, and I don't know. I feel like they're probably going to limit us to the base game, which is fine. I know those tracks well enough, but I'm kind of like going in reverse order
See, Mitch,
from
I
the.
hope you understand that now. I need you to kick ass in this tournament.
Oh, I've won the last 2 years in a row, so I'm not really worried. But they also, it's like, it's not even like a tournament. It's like if you finish first in your heat, you earn X number of points for your team. It's not, there's no bracket or anything related to it. So I'm like, Smash, at least they did a tournament in which I think I placed third.
Okay, I'm disappointed.
But I'm not nearly as good at Smash as I am at Kart. So.
One of the other fun things for Kart was
Oh my god.
they had a full television set for Mario Kart TV.
I love it.
Which it was one of those things where it's like, God, it hits my nerd heart as like an ex TV employee, right? Like seeing the truck.
Yeah.
But also like Mario Kart TV was always one of those additions to Mario Kart that I always thought was like a little dumb. I understand why we're putting this here. But then I saw this and I'm like, nope, I get it. It's fantastic.
10 out of 10. No notes.
And this is an amazing cue because the next part we got is Bowser's Library. And here's my book for you, Mitch.
I mean, that's how I live my life,
How to
Griffin.
Win
How to win
Races
races and lose friends.
There's a ton of little Easter eggs in there and whatnot. I want this Piranha Plant lamp so bad.
Eventually, they'll sell something. A smaller version of it, I'm sure, because they can make money off it.
Yeah. And then just kind of another fun one was seeing the diorama and seeing at least some sort of Paper Mario representation into everything. Because I love that game so much. And of course, we've got the last little bit from the queue here, which is the Bob-omb Factory.
Oh my god.
And yeah, you got a bunch of them in the... But yeah, this ride is absolutely cool. This is a ride that's kind of pretty well known at this point because, right, like Super Nintendo World opened in Japan a while ago now.
22? And then I think last year or 23, I think it was either 23 or 24 in California.
Yeah, like it's nice to finally have it on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I love seeing like just the little details, right? Like Mario here in his locker having the Tanuki suit, or Luigi having the vacuum. Like they really do have a lot of love for it within the queue and within the ride itself. You go through so many different tracks that I honestly lost track at one point. And of course, you end on Rainbow Road,
As one does. It would be great to see. I mean, I know it's not something that they can do in the because the way the attraction is set up, but like if there was a way to add different tracks to it, but I know that would be. Yeah, I'm thinking like
they definitely can't do that because
no, I was thinking like I was thinking if it was akin to something like Star Tours where they could sub in scenes even if it's the same track or something, but I don't think it's that.
So the way it ends up working out is that the tracks that you're going to is the actual physical part of the ride.
Oh, okay.
And then the other racers are in the augmented reality section. Little hit or miss on how the augmented reality felt. Mostly just because it's hard to find that level of comfort. But it's so cool how it ends up working is you're given these visors earlier on. And then the actual AR like glass is attached to like your bar that you pull down.
Your seat, right? Yeah.
So you just pick it up, latch it on, and off you go.
So that's cool.
Totally intuitive. You hit a button, you have to turn when it tells you to turn, and you have to hit a button to fire shells. That is all you do, and shells shoot at whatever direction you're looking.
That's cool.
This is immediately in my top tier. Like I love Toy Story Mania. I love Astro Blasters. I even love the Spider-Man ride at Avengers Campus, even though it's not great. This
Web Shooter Spectacular or whatever it's called.
Yeah, this instantly is my favorite of them.
Did I'm sure I told you my story about that ride, the Spider-Man ride in California.
I think so.
Where we tried to ride it like 3 or 4 times, or no, I think we tried to ride it 3 times the day we went, and the first 2 times it broke down. Like we were in queue the first time, the second time we were on the ride vehicle, and then the third time it actually worked. It was kind of annoying.
Yeah, it breaks down easily.
A lot. Yeah. And that's why I kind of worry about something like this where there's so many moving pieces to the rider portion of it between the headgear, the bar, the augmented piece of that. Like, there's so many different
So
points
it
of
was
failure here. I
breaking down
kind
a
of do
lot.
worry about its uptime.
It did break down for a good while, and while we were in the queue, every once in a while they would come on to they would have like the announcement, and every time we were worried that they were going to shut it down.
Yeah.
They didn't shut it down ever when we were in queue. So they got it up and running, but also there's a level of this right now where we are still in previews.
Yeah, the
I do not
volume
expect
of
everything to be
the
perfect.
volume is not to the level it will be on a regular park day.
And I think one of the great examples of not everything is perfect at the moment was Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong Country itself was one of the biggest shit-eating grins I had.
And this is new for this park, right? Like, this is the first park to get Donkey Kong
No,
Country?
They added this in Japan as well.
Oh, okay.
It's
And I
already
think there's
in Japan.
plans to do it in California, but it's not open yet, right?
I don't know if they're planning to add it there. I hope they do because everyone should get to experience this.
Yeah.
Minecart Madness is such a fun ride. It is also going to kill your back and your neck.
I'm okay. If I talk to, like, when you come up here, there are a few rides we are just going to skip because I don't want you to go home concussed. So, like,
Yeah, that's the vibe you're getting from this one.
our park, no, like this, I don't expect it. Like, is this to the levels of like Indiana Jones dinosaur levels of concussion inducing, or
it is Big Thunder Mountain Railroad levels of?
oh, that's
Um,
chump change.
Worth noting on this one, also we got the best animatronic in
Cranky. That's a.
Boy.
I mean, I don't love how Muppet that looks. The only thing, like
it is very.
it does feel a low res compared to some of the more advanced animatronics we've gotten at Disney over the last decade
I
plus.
will say part of that is my camera.
I was gonna say the lighting here is atrocious, so thank you for that.
This is me taking a picture or video as I am hauling ass past this animatronic.
No, but I'm also thinking like I probably showed you the video that we got with the Potato Head animatronic at Toy Story Midway Mania in Disney California Adventure Pixar Pier, on the pier or on the boardwalk or whatever it is. And even that, which I think that animatronic was probably installed at this point more than a decade ago.
That thing looks amazing. Yeah.
It is, and it's amazing that it was as good as it was when it is and still holds up. That to me looked like
So I think
something
Cranky
I'd see
was
at
one
my
of the
park.
Cranky was one of the more disappointing animatronics, but
Sure.
that is not because Cranky was disappointing. It is because all of the animatronics in this park are ridiculous.
I can't wait to see the How to Train Your Dragon ones because I know how much
we'll
you
get
were
there.
excited to see that area and how excited I am to take
We
Owen
will
there someday.
Get there.
I know.
Unsurprisingly, that has the most pictures. But to just
Color me shocked.
Donkey Kong Country, it's very small. The only thing back there is Minecart Madness, and some interactions for the power-up bands. This is actually a very cool attraction where all three drummers have to beat in line with the Donkey Kong music. And if you do, Rami the rhinoceros pops out of the box.
Everyone at this thing is going to piss me off so much.
I watched
because I have rhythm, and
So,
most people don't.
these three people here. I watched this little kid in the middle get so pissed at what I'm assuming are his grandma and little sister.
Like, the Guitar Hero brain in me is just like, I need people that have timing here.
Oh yeah.
Like, I love my wife. She is the joy of my life, or I guess second behind our son, but like, she is the apple of my eye. I love her to the ends of the earth. Zero rhythm. So I'm going to have to find a kid to substitute in here for her because y'all ain't making me miss that. I know you will. Well, I mean, when we are down in Florida, of course, Uncle Griffin is part of our parks trips no matter what. Like, you know that.
I forget if I have a picture in this or not. But back behind this, where this picture is being taken, also, yeah, that's the ride behind it.
That is the ride itself. Yeah, it has an outdoor portion,
the
right?
The main gift shop for this is Funky's Airplane.
Oh, that's great.
There is the music in here is fantastic. Like, as you're walking through the tunnel, it is the Donkey Kong Country theme song.
Which it has to be.
So good. You collect the collection in it is you're collecting the Kong letters. And then one of the interactions is getting to hit the barrel that will end a level and see what power up you get. Like,
But
genuinely.
the real important question here, Griffin. Do we get the DK wrap?
We do not get the DK wrap. Although, I did have the honor of introducing to my friend the Chunky's Dead meme.
Okay. I'll allow it.
And I had to explain to him that I'm not a psychopath.
I mean, aren't you?
For Chunky's Dead.
Oh, that. Yeah, no. But I
Um,
mean, just in general.
Let's see if I have any more pictures of it. No. This is kind of the last one I want to shout out here before we kind of move on. There's a couple other things to talk about. I don't have any pictures from the Yoshi ride. It's very cute, very short. If you are a
People
bigger
mover
person,
ask, right?
yeah, it's people mover ask. If you are a bigger human being, you can fit, but it will not be comfortable.
You need a car to yourself, basically.
No, you can't because it is a single person lap bar.
I am not. I am worried.
You will squeeze. You'll fit. It just might hurt a little bit.
Okay, but how? Okay, so my bar for is this gonna hurt me for single rider occupancy is Disneyland Space Mountain.
Better than that. How do you do on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train?
Fine.
You'll be
It's.
fine then.
I would say it's like that lap bar is interesting because it's not horizontal. Like it has leg grooves, so I feel like I squeeze in better on that. I am sandwiched in, but it's not uncomfortable.
Yeah, Yoshi's like after a little bit wasn't uncomfortable. It's just tight.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the width than the forward back because I'm not a tall guy, so I'm not as worried about my leg length. It's more so the size of my thighs.
Also worth shouting out, the Yoshi ride is a secret Captain Toad ride, and it's fantastic.
I can't wait to understand what that means eventually.
Really, it's just that Captain Toad's in the ride.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I will see. Trying to think through any other things.
I actually love this photo here because you can tell the way like they've taken inspiration from Disney, obviously, with the way that the background's theme in such a way that it hides the rest of the park from you.
That's the great thing, and this isn't in Nintendo Land. This is the outside of it.
Is this like the entrance?
This is the exit of Nintendo Land.
Oh.
So this building right here is a gift shop. If you have seen any of the pictures of the stained glass from Nintendo Land, that's what this building is.
So like with the Peaches stained glass from the Mario 64 castle and stuff?
Yeah, but with the inclusions of Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. Which a lot of people are theorizing Hyrule is going to get added to this park eventually.
I can see that happening just with the movie. It seems like they want to create as much synergy as they can between the digital, theater, and park properties.
The two major potential, everything is potential in this statement, folks. The two major video game editions might be Hyrule here, and there are rumors that the Simpsons Land at Universal Studios is going to be replaced by Pokemon.
That would honestly make too much sense. Like, I love the idea of it being part of this.
Florida 101.
No, I'm still holding true to my. There are two things that'll get me to Florida during this current presidential term. One is if Owen says we're going.
Fair.
And really, that's the only thing. I don't know why I said two.
Yeah, because I can come up and visit. So.
Well, we'll sort it all out. Yeah.
Also, this is a picture, so it doesn't do it enough justice. But the coins are spinning.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
I have no pictures of the actual portals. All the portals are utterly gorgeous. Nintendo's is one of my favorite. It's got the pipe, and it has bits of Rainbow Road coming out of the pipe.
I love that.
But on its little insignia, it swaps between classic 8-bit Mario and modern day Mario. It's really fun, really pays homage well. My favorite, not surprising, was Burke. There's a reason Burke is at the end of this presentation.
It's the animatronic, I know, but we'll get there.
Oh yeah, we'll get there. Let's talk Dark Universe. Mitch, I kind of like spooky shit.
I don't.
Dark Universe was fucking cool. So Dark Universe was the first thing we did through the day. And I'll tell you what.
That seems like a weird way to start your day.
So our thought process was starting there because a bunch of people were already in Nintendo Land.
That's fair, and I think as the day progresses, more people are going to want to be here.
Yeah,
because it is probably more the more adult land. So as kids sort of, their days wrap up a little earlier, so you get a little more of the adult crowd, and they're probably gonna.
Well, you want to explain the intricate chalk drawing of a human heart to a small child.
Yeah, we're not taking Owen to this part of the park.
This was very cool. I would tell you that the vibes here are creepy, not terrifying.
No, I mean that's what I expected, but he's also 5 months old, Griffin.
Oh, I'm not saying for Owen. I'm saying for your general adult.
Yeah.
Darkmoor is awesome, and I wish we spent more time there. There's only 2 rides to do in Darkmoor. There's a couple of restaurants, and I did not, unfortunately, get to see the windmill set on fire. But we had a goal of doing all these attractions. That was very much the goal for us. That and we had this weird perfect timing that we just kept doing attraction after attraction after attraction. But Monsters Unchained, which is what this queue is the dark ride there, where you're kind of going through Frankenstein Manor as the great-granddaughter of Dr. Frankenstein is trying to pull different data information from the DNA of various different monsters. She's managed to do every monster except for Dracula. And Dracula breaks out and chaos ensues. It's super fun. This was probably the closest to actual horror it got. There were a couple jump scares throughout the ride. But genuinely,
that's to be expected.
This queue. This was probably one of the scariest areas. You give anything that found footage vibe.
Oh yeah, I immediately know right out of that.
It very much felt like the queue at Indiana Jones when they have that footage.
Yeah, I love the queue at Indiana Jones. We've got that intro from Jonathan Rhys Davies.
Mm-hmm. We also got Igor. Igor, fan favorite at the park, giving you a whole.
Couldn't they have cast an actor though? Why does it have to be CG?
Pretty much everything about the ride is CG.
I know, but the problem with that is it's going to feel dated over time.
Well, so there's a reason for it. Is Igor is in the park. Igor is a character that you can interact with in Dark Universe. So
sure. So why not just throw an actor into that instead of doing it as CG?
I think it's more just that there's not the direct comparison. Also, it's hard to do a lot of the monsters.
I mean, I can give it that, but I mean, it's one of those things. Like I love the touch of Jonathan Rhys Davies there, or the actors you get in the Dinosaur Queue, or even with Figment. I had to reference Figment to here if we're talking about parks.
Oh yeah.
I think it just adds a nice real element to it that's lost sometimes when it comes to theme park attractions.
So this is the other part of the pre-show here. This Frankenstein animatronic was one of the most incredible animatronics of the place.
That looks dope. Yeah,
it is so good. This is Dr. Frankenstein. This is the queue. Genuinely, this is a must-do ride. This was, I think, I ranked this as my second favorite ride of the park. Absolutely worth checking out. If there is a classic Universal monster you love, they are in this ride. They got
But the more important question, Griffin, is Tom Cruise in this ride?
No, because fuck that movie. That movie is bad.
It's not that bad.
It is that bad.
I've watched worse.
What do we got next? Oh yeah, just more Q stuff. They do a lot of fun stuff with lightning, which makes sense. This was also, as I mentioned, was our first ride of the day. So here's me just being utterly soaked after 2 hours of torrential downpour. This is also, I want to shout out some of the merchandise that was available. As I mentioned earlier in the show, I didn't actually purchase anything. That was not for lack of wanting to. Everything at Dark Universe especially was so cool. I wanted all of this. I still might get that shirt, honestly.
I don't love the shirt, but things like the notebooks or even the tumbler, kind of nice. I can very easily see myself going into this park and spending a ton here and a ton at Mario.
So it's kind of hard to see here, but this is that design on a black denim jacket.
Yeah, but that jacket's probably like $180, Griffin.
Oh, probably. That's why I'm
You
getting
don't
the
need
shirt.
it.
The shirt was $74, and I was so close to.
And that's before your discount, right?
Yes, before the discount.
So I
Would be
mean,
about 70 with. The discount really
Yeah,
just covers
it's-
tax.
no, I know.
But also that shirt is so ridiculously my style.
Oh, it very much is. It's loud. It's obnoxious. It's 1,000% Griffin.
Darkmoor. So Darkmoor is the name of the city that it's in. And like I said, it's just kind of filled with this creepy atmosphere. It's really fun. There's a restaurant there called Steakhouse.
Is it spelled Stake?
It is. Everything is
As
on.
it should be.
Everything is on kebabs.
Oh, okay. See, that's
and
smart.
it is ran by vampires.
I mean, obviously.
So like the staff that's standing outside of the building are standing there with umbrellas because they're vampires. They can't be in the sun.
Makes sense.
Everything
and
about
it's also
this place,
Florida.
Yeah, everything about this place just kind of leans into that creepy atmosphere. Like the violinist that we got to watch was telling the story of Dracula as she was playing and brought in like this kid to scream to do those moments. Like they really do have fun with it.
That's great.
Here's another one like this. It's kind of like this is kind of the city center of it.
Yeah, like I can just imagine the vibes here at night are immaculate.
So good. The other ride.
Now, before you move on to the other ride, I'm just with the theming and the ambiance and everything here. How much is Disney looking at this and saying, "Yo, this general vibe, we're doing our own villainy thing."
I'm
probably
very curious to see how
aligns.
I think Disney's is going to be much more cartoonish. That is
I hope it isn't.
So that's the thing about this is that it's very real. It's very realistic. Everything is mid-century Gothic. And I love that. That is so my style for this kind of thing. It is very, very well done within that regard. I think Disney is going to, because all of Disney's villains have these unique and strange powers that they can interact with. I think thorns are going to be a massive part of it.
I fully agree. I think it's going to draw a lot of inspiration from Sleeping Beauty specifically, but I can even see some of this here and some of the overgrown nature of the buildings and stuff as something they can draw inspiration from.
I think
I mean, granted, they did all that with some of the Harry Potter stuff at the other parks, but even still,
I think they took
can take
notes
it to
for
11.
sure. I think that they just have a vibe that fits in better with their stuff that is slightly more cartoony. And like with where we're at right now, they love Maleficent. Especially, like Maleficent is this villain that they keep coming back to for everything. Like she's one of the main villains of Kingdom Hearts. In fact, right now she is.
I don't know if that was a Disney decision. I think that might have been more of a Square Enix decision.
Yeah, but they keep bringing her back, and Disney owns the franchise.
Sure.
But like right now, the new pass holder magnet that they're releasing this month is going to be Maleficent. I got to imagine she's going to be the main driving factor
Villain.
there.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to the
Continue.
next ride. This is the other roller coaster here, Curse of the Werewolf. I have so many pictures of this because the vibes of this ride are immaculate. I did not get to ride this one. This is a ride where I very much think I could have, but with where they were at in the day, it was a one and done. They were not going to give me the time to adjust and fit myself onto the ride. But the vibes of this thing are immaculate, and I have my friend's review of it, it's a very fun coaster. It twists and turns, similar to Guardians, but not quite as well as Guardians.
Well, I think with Guardians being immersive the way it is, there's it's really hard to match those.
Guardians
vibes.
just has a feel to it, even without the immersion, that is very fun. This feel is, at least according to my friend, is almost there, but
Okay.
is still unique enough with its own immersion and atmosphere. The Curse of the Werewolf, though, is all based around tarot and witches
Well,
and
yeah, because
fortune
that's a big
telling.
theme of the Wolfman, right?
Yeah. I think that's part of why I was so into it. I have so many pictures from this queue that are like, ooh, what if I did this in my apartment? Yeah, this is the fortune teller. It's all based around Maleva. It's such a fun design for a character. I would not be surprised if they eventually brought this character as one of the wandering characters in the park.
I mean, that seems like they've set themselves up here for a lot of um like enhancements they can make to the park without having to actually bring new attractions, which I think is really smart.
Oh yeah. And this was also just another fun little added tidbit is they put the screen up here that has the full moon on it.
But Griffin, it's the middle of the day.
It was like nearing night. It was sunset when I took these pictures. Not this picture, but this
Fine.
pictures.
I was gonna say.
Look, timelines are a funny thing when you're trying to hit everything. But that's pretty much everything for Dark Universe. Dark Universe is a very cool one. We didn't get to interact with any characters, which was kind of a disappointment for me. I really wanted to do that. I wanted to hit the restaurants. We just didn't have the time, and that is like prime on my list for next time.
Yeah.
Dark Universe was what I consider to be my second favorite land of Dark Universe of Epic Universe as a whole. I really think that it is fantastic for what it is already, and there is potential for more. There's rumors that they're going to be adding a Creature of the Black Lagoon ride, that they wanted to have it for launch, but just didn't have the time to add it. And Gilman does make an appearance in Monsters Unleashed. It's absolutely worth it. And while everything may not be for children, the werewolf ride I think kids can do. It's definitely worth checking out.
Yeah.
Hey Mitch, remember when I said we were going to do like 50 minutes tops? We're going to go over 50 minutes for this.
So tired.
Because it's time for the big one. Oh man, dude.
That good, eh?
That good. So, the Isle of Berk. For reference, folks, How to Train Your Dragon is one of my favorite movies, period. Full stop. Like, I love these movies. I loved these books growing up. This, as much as I care about Disney and love Disney, somehow this is a property that can surpass even that love. So to actually get in there and experience all of this was overwhelming. Like, you walk in and there's I think I maybe have it now, I don't. There's a
Next
rock.
time.
There's a rock that has the opening monologue from the second movie inscribed on it. Of like, this is Berk. And you walk in and you're seeing dragons immediately. There are dragon animatronics and statues all over the area. There are these two statues in the middle of the lake within things. They do light stuff on fire at night. I think the
As
fires
one ought to do in Viking times.
I think the fires are in the mouths.
Yeah, it looks right.
Not only that did I love it so much, like you can tell that Berk is the biggest land at Universal at Epic Universe, and you can tell that this is the flagship for what people are going to go do. And I'm so happy they chose this one.
Yeah, I do still wonder from an IP perspective if Nintendo and Harry Potter to an extent will draw people away from this, but I do think there's a uniqueness to the Isle of Berk here. It is like this park's unique land because I mean Nintendo and Harry Potter exist in different incarnations across the globe. This is like the thing to see, which I think is really fun.
It is going to be this. Like, Harry Potter is good for a Harry Potter nerd, but there is one ride that's on a virtual queue and one show. In Bark, there are
For now.
3 rides, a kids play area, multiple restaurants, a show, and character meet and greets.
That's a lot.
They go all out for this thing.
I'm glad to hear it.
First ride to talk about is Racer Rally, Dragon Racer Rally. This is a ride that I was not let on, and thank God for that. This thing looks absolutely terrifying.
What is this?
So
We have one of these. I don't like this at all.
Yeah, they put you on there and essentially just start spinning you.
Yeah, where is I'm following the this has to be the same as ours. Because we have oh, it's not. That's okay, we have something very similar to this. I can't remember the name of it. Canada's Wonderland. There are very few attractions I will not ride. Mostly due to I don't have a fear of heights, I have a fear of falling. So there are certain attractions like drop towers that I just do not vibe with.
This is I'm gonna pull up a POV here from Noma Dandy on YouTube here, and I think it does a good job.
Okay, and I'm gonna find the name of this ride that I'm trying to compare it to.
I think this does a good job of explaining why I'm like hell no.
Oh, we have this exact ride. I can't believe it. It must be the same manufacturer. I'm just trying to get the name of it. Oh, it is the same manufacturer. All right, great. We have literally the exact same ride, and I've never ridden this, and I will never ride this.
So I watched somebody do a full spin on one of those.
Griffin, I see people who have figured out, like, if you get those wings at the right angle, you just spin the entire time.
Yeah, no.
No, never. Not in a million years will you catch me on that ride.
And I watched him freeze once they got up high enough, and he did not move at all.
Yeah, so our Geertslauer, the manufacturer, it's our Geertslauer ride that is the equivalent of this in Canada's Wonderland. It's called Skyhawk. And ever since the day they opened it, I refused to ride it.
Mm-hmm. What I did like about this, and they do it for all, is every one of the main like kids from How to Train Your Dragon are associated to the rides. So like this one is Astrid and Snotlout.
Makes sense.
And on the 2 rides are their dragons, are Stormfly and I forget the name of Snotlout's dragon, but the hideous nightmare that he rides. Yeah, it's really really well themed, just not my thing. Mm-hmm. Merchant Burke is gorgeous. I just want to shout it out. So hard not to buy any of it.
I really hope Owen isn't into all of this stuff when he gets older, because my God, this is going to be an expensive trip.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
There be dragons here, Mitch.
Jesus.
There be a lot of dragons here. They are everywhere. They are littered throughout all of it. A lot of them are animated. A lot of them are moving.
That's
a lot of them are
amazing.
animatronics. The ice dragon actually spits out cold mist at people.
Yeah, I've seen videos of that.
Mm-hmm. I unfortunately did not get hit. I was really wanting it though about halfway through the day. And then this one on the bottom here is hanging out right next to Gobber. Gobber is one of the characters from the movie. He is the like blacksmith, and the dragon trainer. He is absolutely hilarious. I don't know who is playing him, but he was spot on perfect. He literally just hangs out at his like behind his desk and just chats with people. Mm-hmm. That's all he does. It's so fun. And then all of the other characters are roaming. So Hiccup, Astrid, Roughnut, and Toughnut are all roaming the park. Roughnut and Toughnut are hilarious. The twins, all constantly causing mischief. We were in line for to meet Hiccup and Toothless, and they're like hanging out in the back of the line yelling at Hiccup. I'm sure you can find videos of it online if you guys are looking. Astrid was my personal favorite. She was just so good. So fully that character, and you just kind of, especially me, just kind of get overwhelmed by it.
Yeah, because the live action movie comes out this summer, right?
Comes out like, I'm seeing it this weekend.
This what?
I'm
no,
seeing it. I'm seeing it early though.
I was gonna say,
It's
Jesus Christ, no.
it's like this month. It is May.
That is what? No.
Yeah.
April, May. I'm not seeing it. No, I don't know if it's this month. Hold on. No, it's June 13th.
Oh, damn, we're seeing it really early, and then I'm seeing it on Sunday.
Yeah, you're seeing it really because, like, for me, the rest of the month is just the doubleheader of Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning and Lilo and Stitch.
We're about to go into one hell of a summer. It's brief tangent.
Karate Kid Legends is out this month too. God damn.
Dude, seeing that trailer at the Dolby Theater was like, oh my god, I actually have to go see this movie.
Yeah, you do.
Have you seen the Stitch animatronic that's been showing up in theaters?
No.
You gotta look this thing up. It is hilarious. Basically, they'll have Stitch at like the registers, or you know how in the trailer Stitch steals like that pink car, the kid's car. He'll be driving that around the theaters. They've been doing it mostly at Cinemark.
Oh my god. Yeah, we don't get this kind of stuff because it's fun, and they don't like fun in Canada apparently.
Fair. Let's talk some food for Epic Universe. There was one thing I ate the entire time. That was the mac and cheese.
Good. That looks
that
so
is
good.
a code.
How does it compare to the one in California?
I've not had the one in California.
Okay.
But this was freaking amazing. I'll tell you what. It is a coat of garlic bread with well, I got the spicy one. So it's like Nashville style hot chicken, shredded hot chicken.
Oh, never mind.
They have a regular version as well, and what is the PB&J version, which is pork and bacon jam.
Huh. When I said never mind, have I told you how broken of a human being I am?
No.
Oh, okay. No, this is going to be great. This is going to be recorded. Griffin, I am allergic to poultry.
Oh, you have
chicken,
told me this, yeah.
Turkey, etc. So, like, this is a no-go for me, but I'm glad you enjoyed it.
So, good news for you is there are versions without the chicken.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, they've got vegetarian options here at the park.
The main one is just. So, funnily enough, it's sponsored by Goldfish.
So I've seen this going around, this image of like some dessert that they have in Isle of Burke that's also just like a big goldfish.
Yeah. But so like the base version is literally like mac and cheese topped with goldfish in the cone.
See, I can mess with that.
Genuinely, it was amazing. I was expecting like to feel like real bloated after this, right? Like it is mac and cheese and bread, but it was surprisingly light. That's kind of the vibe for a lot of the food I'm feeling like is it's good quality food, but it's not going to fill you up.
Okay.
Let's talk another ride here. Hiccup's Wing Glider was my favorite ride at the park. We fought to get on this thing, man. Like it was
like fought in terms of size or fought in terms of queue length.
Queue.
Okay.
Because because a lot of the outdoor coasters weren't open in the morning because of the rain. It delayed a lot of that. And so we kept trying throughout the morning. And we ended up having this hilarious perfect timing where we're like, okay, we're not going to go that. We went and grabbed food. Okay, what should we do? Oh, let's go to the How to Train Your Dragon show. Fantastic show. We'll get into that. Look, we left that show, looked at our phones, and the ride had just opened back up.
Okay.
And that line was across Burke. Realistically, only took us about 45 minutes.
It's not too bad then. That seems like it's a well optimized.
But like everybody wanted on this
load
ride,
unload,
and there's a great reason for it. It is so fantastically themed. Hiccup and Toothless are talking to you throughout a lot of the ride. The launch itself, like in theming, is launched by Toothless.
Oh, that's great.
It is so fun. It is so uniquely themed, and it feels intense. The turns of it, you are bobbing and weaving through the Isle of Berk, and it is so fun, so unique to what it is. It's not the most intense coaster ever, but it doesn't have to be.
Like it's a nice family style coaster.
Yeah, I still think it is a fairly intense coaster, but because it leans you into the turns in such a way that feels much more intense than it actually is.
I mean, I can understand that just because again, this is the theme park nerd in me as I click through Wikipedia. Intamin is the manufacturer of that attraction, and they've made some of my favorite coasters, period.
This was one of those rides where I would have ridden it immediately again if the line would have allowed it.
The line wasn't cost prohibitively ridiculous.
Yeah, yeah, there's like those rides, right, where it's like you could do just that ride over and over again all day, and you would be perfectly happy.
Yeah,
That
so
was
I
that
mean,
ride
looking at some of their credits, Intamin, at least in the U.S., you've got coasters like Ride of Steel, Six Flags Darien Lake, the first Intamin that I ever rode, Millennium Force, a Giga coaster at Cedar Point in Ohio. The Incredicoaster is an Intamin roller coaster in Disney California Adventure. The list goes on and on. There's some really, really good attractions on there.
Which is funny because I was going to relate it actually to Incredicoaster, where
Yeah.
it's
Gringotts at Universal Florida is an Intamin coaster.
Okay, everyone's got to have a miss.
Hagrid's, Intamin
still
launch.
Hagrid's.
And I think Velocicoaster at Island of Adventure is also Intamin.
Mm-hmm.
So, great history of these launch coasters.
Yeah. Berk's incredible, as I mentioned. This is one of the restaurants. This is the meat hall.
That's great. Reminds me a lot of Norway, like the Norway Pavilion at Epcot, they're Vikings. Makes sense. Yeah, exactly.
Also, it's a meat hall. Like, you can't get much north than a meat hall.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
This spire is kind of one of the main attraction points for pictures and stuff. It was truly gorgeous. But this picture up here on the top left is from the How to Train Your Dragon show. How to Train Your Dragon, The Untrainable Dragon.
Which was Hiccup.
Twist is a musical. Didn't see that coming.
Is it really that shocking? Theme parks love musicals.
True. I didn't know it was a musical going in. I was so happy when they started singing.
Of course you were.
But like this was the highlight of the show. Hiccup flies toothless out over the audience. It is a very unique show. It's about 20 minutes long, like perfect length.
All you need for a theme park show, honestly.
And it's great. It genuinely has all of the beats you want. It does some really cool animation stuff as well.
Yeah, because if you can do half-hour shows of like 10-minute fill theater, 20-minute show, or 5-minute fill, 20-minute show, 5-minute exit, like you can really,
Yeah, it doesn't
get a lot of people.
It doesn't quite surpass my favorites for like theme park shows, but it is
Festival of the Lion King, Finding Nemo.
So,
Animal Kingdom does it best.
So I would tell you that this is number 2 behind Fantasmic.
Okay, so I'm thinking more like attraction shows, not like I put Fantasmic in the scope of like end of day kind of like spectaculars, which I feel is like a different
attraction shows. I would put this at number 1.
Yeah, like I love Nemo and Festival of the Lion King, so I'm very curious to see how this compares to those 2 Animal Kingdom attractions.
I'm trying to say stuff with this one without spoiling it, because it's absolutely worth going into it blind. But they really do. The main sets for this are mostly done through an LED wall.
Oh, cool! I'm down.
And they do some really fun animation stuff with it.
Oh, nice.
Switching gears. Oh my god, dude, this little freaking
dragon. Oh Jesus!
Look at how cute it is.
It's adorable, and I love it, and I need to take it home.
So yeah, they have these little dragons come out. These are Toothless's children that come out and will play. They'll come and say hi to people, and they'll play a game called Toothless Says. These are Boston Dynamics robots. That is
so they just took the scary dog robots and just
I
put
am
Dragon on
convinced that
them,
if Boston Dynamics had put them in these to begin with, no one would bat.
we
an
wouldn't
eye.
be as terrified.
Yeah. Absolutely adorable. Throughout the entire process, like we got like you can see him wiggling his ears, but they wave goodbye at the end, and the entire audience awed. Genuinely, it was the cutest shit.
Now I just want to go and see where How to Train Your Dragon is streaming for free in Canada.
I mean, I know in the U.S. it's Paramount Plus, so that's not.
Yeah, but I don't want to subscribe to another streaming service, but it's probably Paramount Plus here too.
So, it's time, Mitch.
Those are very large boots.
So, meeting Toothless was kind of a venture in of itself.
Florida sun is not doing you any favors, FYI.
No, it is not. I was hideously sunburned. Hiccup. This was the longest line we stood in all day. This was about an hour we ended up standing in line. We got up to the next spot in line, and little peek behind the curtain, the animatronic broke down.
And
It is a very, very sensitive animatronic.
I can only imagine, especially in the Florida heat.
If you touch it in the wrong place, it has to get fixed immediately.
That's sensitive, eh?
Well, those eyes. It's the eyes.
Oh, okay.
And guess what
I worry then with like
guess what the kid
children.
in front of us did?
Touch the eyeballs.
Touch the eyeballs. And I cannot.
Okay.
Again,
So I'm
wanna
gonna
preface
say
nothing
that
against this child. This child was having kind of a freak out with this giant dragon in front of him. I think this was a special
totally understandable,
kid
but
who was kind of trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But they
So
did a very good job
all
playing
of the How to Train Your Dragon movies are streaming on a service I already subscribed to in Canada, so we are good.
Oh yeah, I watched through all of them before going. You're not surprised.
We have stuff to watch for this show,
I
Griffin,
did that too.
but we're not going to talk about it tonight because you spent 45 minutes talking about a goddamn dragon.
And it's worth it, and you know it.
Yeah, I know.
We're gonna
Just
get into
tired.
it. 'Cause genuinely, this was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had at a theme park ever. But yes.
So
anyways,
this to you was like my getting a hug from Chewbacca moment, basically.
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
and you'll see why in a minute. But yeah, so
Because
the
of the
thing breaks
tears.
down.
Was it the tears, Griffin?
Oh, I was absolutely crying through this. You can see it in the damn picture.
Yeah. I know. It's hard to see it through the sunburn, but yeah.
Anyways, like take up gives a reason and takes off. And we were a little worried about it. And then they kind of bring out these hedges. I don't remember if I have it or not. No, I don't. I have the pictures of it somewhere. But yeah, they basically surround him with hedges while they fix it. And then like as they're unveiling it, we learned that Astrid was there, and Astrid was the person you're going to get to interact with and take photos with.
Fun.
So we ended up getting to interact with both. So it really actually worked out in our favor here.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the moment for me that really was just utterly amazing here was you get to pet Toothless.
Is this also a terrifying robot dog or no?
It's animatronic, but it's not like that.
I know it's not free roam the way that Disney's putting some out in the way that I don't think those dragons will ever free roam because I wouldn't trust people around them.
Oh yeah, they're not free roaming, but they're doing their own thing. Genuinely like trying to keep my shit together here. This was the most amazing thing I have ever gotten to do at a theme park ever. Like I cannot stress enough how much How to Train Your Dragon means to me. To have this moment, and then to be surrounded both in that line and in that park with kids who feel this way and adults who feel this way. Like, you mentioned having that feeling at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I've had that feeling.
The Chewbacca moment was actually Launch Bay.
Launch Bay? Yeah.
Well before Galaxy's Edge.
Like you've had
But
that.
I think in
feeling
terms
with
of an
Star Wars.
immersive land, the first time that really hit me was it was Galaxy's Edge in California.
Mhm. And like Galaxy's Edge hit for me, but nothing has ever hit me like this. Like I genuinely needed to like take a few minutes after this and like recompose myself before we kept doing other things.
This was your fall to my knees in a Walmart moment.
Oh yeah. Here's the pictures I have of that. yeah, it was just seeing that, and like I've been watching back the videos on it so much since going on Sunday.
So how long until you quit your job and just try to get a job as a full-time toothless handler?
I wish.
The thought crossed your mind. You laugh because it's true.
I laugh because it is true. I am not the right person to play Hiccup.
No.
Yeah, Hiccup is
Hiccup has
normally with
friends.
him. But yeah, that is Epic Universe. That is the last thing I have for it. We were genuinely there from park open to park close. This is
I mean, as you should be. You're paying good money to be there. You should get your money's worth out of it.
yeah, this is a must do if you are coming down to Florida to go to the parks.
Yeah, just get your carrot and chief to back the fuck down.
Oh, absolutely. I wish I could do that if I could.
But also the Canadian dollar kind of sucks against the US dollar right now. Although it did rebound a bit today with our new prime minister meeting your president, and he didn't call him governor once.
Yeah, it was interesting watching that.
We'll talk about that offline.
Mhm.
I missed all of it because I was in a whole day work thing.
Oh yeah, I just was catching up with it on like TikTok. Yeah, seriously, you folks, if you have the chance to go to Epic Universe, go to Epic Universe. It is going to be packed. I am terrified to see what it's like with a larger cap that they'll have on it for opening days. That was one
And
of
this
the really
park
nice
is
things.
opening officially on May 22nd, 2025, right?
It was really nice going to it ahead of time and actually like getting to see it in a way where we were going to be able to easily do everything. I would tell you, if you're going to go, prioritize the lands that you want to see first. I would highly recommend Burke to start out with.
I could
Which you
spend
have
an entire
kids.
day in Super Mario World or Super Nintendo World.
Mhm.
But
And-
again, to each their own.
Mhm. Everything is made for you to be immersed within those worlds. The last thing I kind of want to shout it out here is every portal are these massive pillars. There isn't one. This isn't like a Magic Kingdom where there's the castle. Each of these pillars stands as their own like sight point.
It's its gateway into that land, basically.
Mhm. And
Like
you
it's
can-
still spoke and wheel with the celestial pond or whatever it's called in the middle of everything, but you have these pillars to point you at the next thing you want to get to, which is nice.
What's really cool is at night, a light comes out from the top of them, almost like a waypoint in a video game.
That's awesome.
And all of the lights from the four portals intersect in the middle of the pond.
That's
Like,
great.
It is everything about this place is very thought through and well designed, and it's going to be
I mean,
worth your time.
We knew like Universal took the portal concept. I think like the first one that really spoke to me again was the entry to Galaxy's Edge, where you feel like you were taken into another world. And they took that to another level with the pipe for Super Nintendo World globally, and then said, hey, this is cool. What if we just did a whole park that did this?
Yeah,
And I'm
and
really
stepping
glad they
through
took
those
the risk to
portals.
do something different, and as opposed to like what we've seen traditionally from like no one's creating new theme parks these days. The last Disney park that opened would have been
California Adventure,
Disney Sea.
Disney Sea, or because Tokyo did, maybe. I mean, in the U.S., I know it's California Adventure.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm just curious.
I think California.
Well,
Adventure
no,
is
I think no. Shanghai would have been the newest.
now Shanghai is pretty old. Because didn't Shanghai Disney was founded pretty similar timing wise to Epcot.
I'm just trying to find a good like.
While you're looking into that, the
Yeah,
reason I
you do
wanted
your
to do an
thing.
episode on this, other than I absolutely had to talk about this day, Disney is going to learn from this. We've already seen pictures of Bob Iger at Epic Universe. Like, he did a whole thing. People made fun of him because he wore his Disney name badge there. Like, we don't know who this man is. Like, Disney is going to learn from this in a way that I cannot wait to see. This is one of those
Okay.
things that is just unequivocally, like, I've seen people being like, oh, Disney's got to be quaking in their boots because of this. No, this is going to be one of those things that is unequivocally a good thing for the theme park industry, for all players. This is going to set the standard for what is coming next in such a beautiful way.
So Shanghai Disney was the last Disney park to open in 2016. So Disney is not opening a new theme park globally in 9 years.
I will not be surprised, for what it's worth, if Disney announces something on Epic Universe's open day.
Or just no, they'll probably hold it for D23, would they not?
I think they announced something for. I think they announced some details to try to take some.
They might announce some of the opening windows for some of the projects they've announced for Florida, but they've got to be looking at this like they've got to do something to like.
I do think they're doing something. I just don't think they're quaking in their boots about it.
No, I think a park like this does really good for everybody because it just spread like a Florida theme park trip is a ridiculous undertaking. You're never going to see everything in one trip unless you take like 2 or 3 weeks, because between the Orlando area with Universal's 3 parks, Disney's 4 parks, Universal's water park, Disney's 2 water parks, then you move on to like the Tampa area. You've got Busch Gardens, you've got SeaWorld, Orlando, or that's still in Orlando. Legoland, you've got there's a lot.
Florida continues to be the theme park capital of the United States for a reason. I can absolutely see Disney adding something new because of Epic Universe. And obviously, that is all in the future. We will talk about that stuff when we get to that stuff. We have run long in this episode.
Before we go, I want to say one thing. And it comes back to you coming and visiting Canada, me taking you to our park. There are 6 opening day attractions from 1981 that are still operating at Canada's Wonderland today. 2 of them we're not going to ride. They are 2 wooden coasters. They're jaggedy as hell, and I can't fit on one of them and haven't tried fitting on the other one in over a decade.
Fair.
One of them, and this is where the theme park historian you is going to enjoy this. One of our opening day attractions is a looped roller coaster. This was the first looped roller coaster I ever rode as a kid. That it was manufactured by the now defunct ride manufacturer. I had it here. Where'd it go? Aerodynamics. Now, Aerodynamics sounds familiar because in 1951, 1959, sorry, they launched a little ride over in California known as the Matterhorn bobsleds.
I feel like you're going to try to kill me with this coaster.
No, okay. This coaster isn't actually that bad. Like it's 2 loops and a corkscrew. That's it.
I'm
very tame.
I'm really just kidding.
But it's also
I'm excited for this trip though to come up, and we'll have to film it. The amount.
Oh
we're
yeah.
About it, but.
The Magic Kingdom Space Mountain is also aerodynamics. That's interesting.
I feel like you're trying to kill me. Anyways, folks, go to Epic Universe.
We've got gigas. We got giga coasters here. How many giga coasters you goddamn Epic Universe got? Huh?
How many dragons you got?
The ride, the aerodynamics ride, it's called Dragonfire, Griffin.
Still not as good.
It's got dragon in the name.
Still not as good as Toothless. You're not beating Toothless.
Dragonfire.
Man,
you're not beating with a Y. Oh, with a Y.
Can I wrap up the episode?
We don't have characters in our park. It's Six Flags themed. We're lucky we have Planet Snoopy.
Fair enough. Anyways, folks, go see Epic Universe if you can, and thank you for listening to this episode or watching it if you were over on the YouTube. We do a bunch of stuff around Disney normally. We are typically doing shows and movie reviews, as well as dipping our toes more and more into theme park stuff. It's something we want to do more of, and we are kind of trying to figure out how that fits within all of our stuff.
Video games, ?
The video games will come, especially when we finally talk about Illusion Island. I want to talk about that game. That's such a fun game.
It's real good. I want to play it again.
Yeah. So check out our stuff. Subscribe to us on YouTube, podcast services, wherever you want to find this stuff. We will see y'all again in the next episode. But until then, be good to each other and have a magical day.
Wahoo!